What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Gonna do something a little different on the RV, something we've been wanting to kind of do, and that is add a little bit of lighting to the underbelly of the RV, just to kind of brighten up our campsite a little bit without having to turn on the awning light. The way we're going to do that, I have some strings of Boogey Lights, which are basically, it's an LED light strip, 3M adhesive backing. These will basically just stick right to the frame of the RV. We're going to wire them in. They're 12 volts. I have a really good spot that I can wire in the controller to get our 12 volt power. Shouldn't be a very difficult install. So I'll show you guys how we lay these out and how this turns out. So a couple things we're going to need. We've got all our parts and pieces. So this is the controller with all the wiring that's required. When it's all done, we should be able to control the color of the lights, the brightness of the lights, everything. I have a 12-foot string of lights, and then I also have two other lights. One's a 2-foot strip and one is a 3-foot strip. So I'm not sure if we're going to end up using these, but we'll get it laid out and see how many strings of lights I need. But we've got some acetone so we can clean the frame really good before we try to stick them on there. I've got our wire nuts so we can wire nut everything together, and then put some electrical tape around it, keep it all sealed up, and that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go over here to the RV, show you how we're gonna lay these all out. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is lay these lights out, see exactly where we want to position them up on the frame. So, I've got my helper out here with me today, Dylan. Can you give me a hand stringing these lights out?
Sure.
Thank you. Walk backwards for me. Alright, pull them back towards you a little bit. Back. Stop. Set them down. Give me a little short one, Dylan.
Only one.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got the strips laid out. We've got our 12-foot strip laid out to take up this long space in the back. I have our next longest strip here in the center. It's going to fill in kind of behind where the steps are, and then I have a little short strip that's going to go up here in the front and basically go all the way to the front of our storage. So that will give us a little bit of light, kind of low, to light up our campsite area, so we won't always have to have the big awning light on, lighting everything up. So, you know, we're not trying to light up around the whole RV, or be real obtrusive out there in the campground, but it would be nice to have just a little bit of light that kind of shines out here without having to run that awning light up top. So got it all laid out. I'm going to wipe the frame down with the acetone now. I'm going to go ahead and stick these in place, and then the last thing we'll do is wire up our controller. I'll show you we're going to do that. So right here, this little light right here is a 12 volt. It's our step light, but it's so dim. It's just not a very bright light. It's a little blue light, but location wise it's perfect. I can pull it out and I can go ahead and tap into our 12 volt power right here. So that makes it very convenient. I'm going to mount the controller right up in this area somewhere. We'll tap right into our 12 volt power right here. So this will kind of keep it, being that it's up in here. It doesn't say that you can't have this out in the weather, but I want to keep it kind of out of the weather as much as we can. I want to just have it out where it's going to always be getting wet and everything. So we're going to mount it up here. Being in this area where the steps used to be kind of keeps it protected a little bit. So we'll put it up in there and we'll see what happens. Definitely want to get the frame clean as we can, so that 3M adhesive, that's really good stuff, but it won't stick to a dirty surface. It won't stick very long to a dirty surface anyway. All right, we got the frame all cleaned up now. So now I'm going to run our our LED strip up through the frame. I'll show you what I'm going to do to help kind of hold it up. It's got the 3M adhesive backing, which is great, but should that thing come unstuck and try to fall, it's going to be run up through the frame in a fashion where it won't drop all the way down. I'll show you what that's. And you can see I got these little gaps right here in the frame, right here in the corner. So we're going to go right through the holes right there. We're going to do that all the way down through the hole, all the way down the whole frame. We'll just run it right through there. Alright Dylan, come here, I need you to hold this end up for me. So as I pull, just kind of hold it in so I don't drag it off the ground. I gotta get it straight. Otherwise our sticky won't stick. Alright, so now we're just going to peel the adhesive backing off, and we'll start sticking it to the frame and just work it all the way back down to the front. That's the nice thing about running it through the frame like this. You're not going to have to worry about if it does decide it's going to try to drop down on you a little bit. It really can't go anywhere. They recommend using an adhesion promoter from 3M. It's like a wipe or a spray that you can spray on to promote this 3M tape to stick really good. I didn't use it on this because I don't have any and I could not find any readily available. So I did some research and I found probably 90% of the reviews that I could find, nobody used the adhesion promoter and everybody was having good results with it sticking. If you've ever used a 3M tape, you know they use it for body moldings on cars. I mean, it's used in a lot of applications where you need something to stick and stay stuck for a long time. So it's good stuff, and I don't expect that we'll have a problem. They give you a tremendous amount of wiring, so you have plenty of wire to run wherever you need. Ours obviously is only going to have to go right to this area. So now we're going to take our next strip. I thought this was a 3-foot strip. It's actually a 4-foot strip. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to run this up in here to light up behind the steps. So all these are going to tie in right at the controller. So we're going to stick this one in place right up behind the steps. So I'm left with this little short 2-foot strip. I was originally going to go all the way to the front, but our basement storage, our little tray, sits right under there. So if I tried to stick it up on the frame, that would pretty much block out any light. So I'm going to take this one and add it right here to the frame. So we have the fold down steps, the Lippert fold down steps. So this is basically the frame where the old pull out steps used to be. I'm going to take this and put it up underneath here, and it'll cast us a little bit extra light directly under our steps. So I think that's the route we're going to go. I've got that pretty much lights up all the way from the back of the trailer all the way to just in front, and since it shines down on the ground, we'll get a little bit of light up here. You know, I'm not real interested in lighting up the whole thing all the way around anyway, so if we could just get some more light here by our camp, by our campsite, that'd be awesome. So, all right. So to mount the controller, I'm going to use some double-sided Gorilla Tape. It's worked really good on an exterior light that we have mounted up top. It's been up there for quite a few months. So I'm going to clean the frame off. I'm going to use that same tape on this. I'll apply that right to the back. Mount this right there. As long as what you're mounting to is clean, that double-sided Gorilla Tape is pretty awesome. We used it inside to hang stuff on the walls. Like I said, we've used it to hang this exterior light that we have out here. It's worked really well, so I expect it'll hold that on just fine. So now, on the Boogey Light controller, the yellow wires are in 10, and we're not going to do anything with it. And then you just have your ground and your positive. So on our LED light, so the white wire is going to be our power, the black wire is going to be the ground. Obviously, they give you plenty of wiring, you know, on all this stuff. So I'm going to, this tells you what the wires are for. So, but at the end of the day, all you're going to do is match up the same color wires on your light strip with the wires from the controller. So it's all color coded, so you can't mess it up. You're good to go. First thing we're going to do is cut off our old light. Whoop. Don't let your wires fall back into the hole. That would not be good. I'm going to put a piece of tape on those things so they don't do that. If they fall back in the hole, I have to take the screws out of the underbelly to fish them back out. So don't really want to do that. So I just stick a piece of tape on there for a minute to keep them from wanting to fall back in the hole on me. So I've got our switch off inside to our little step light out here. Just gonna peel those back. They've already give you some wires that are stripped. I don't need quite that much. I'm gonna cut a little bit of that off so I don't have a ton of extra wire floating around under here. This controller is reverse polarity protected, so if on the off chance you hook it up backwards, it just won't turn on. It won't blow anything out. The positive lead is fused, so if anything should happen, it's got a fuse in it, but it's reverse polarity protected, so you should not have an issue. And now we're just going to tie all of our leads for all 3 strips, light strips, into our controller. So get all our greens wrapped together. So we'll go to the green on the controller. And we'll just wire nut all those together. Alright, that's green. Alright. In theory, we should be done. I'm actually going to use a piece of Flex Seal tape to cover up that hole where the old little step light came out, so I don't have a hole in the frame, don't want any water or anything getting in there. So I'll cover that up with a little square piece of Flex Seal, which would be perfect for that. But let's go ahead and turn the power on and see if these things work. There we go. We've got lights. We can make them brighter. We can dim them down. We can make them brighter. So tonight, we'll come out, change the color, purple, blue, got some red on there, green. So what we will do, make sure all my strips are working. Yep, looks like they're all working. So tonight we will come out here now and show you guys what it looks like in the dark. Alright, so we're back out here at night. Here we go. It's a finished product. Not sure how well it's showing up on video. Just kind of gives you an idea. You know, they're not super bright, super obtrusive lights that are, you know, real super annoying. But we can roll through a couple of different colors here real quick for you. So that's a little brighter. It's our blue lights. Got some orange lights, purple. So it does definitely get brighter as you change colors, but you can see that, you know, it doesn't light up out real far. So if you're, you know, you're not gonna light up your neighbor's campsite with these lights. So here's underneath. So there's our one that we installed there. There's one underneath the stairs, changing colors. And then here's our long strip that we put up underneath the wheel well right there. It's got a lot of different modes. You can also make them, you can dim them down if you want. So you can dim those down, brighten them back up. And then it's got different modes you can scroll through. So we can make them change colors. We can make them fade to different colors. So a lot of neat things you can do with them. Are they necessary? No, probably not. Are they neat? Yeah, they're kind of cool. I mean, for no longer than it took me to install them, you know, it's kind of neat to have them. So we'll turn them off and back on to kind of reset them. And then, so I'm just changing all these with the remote. So this controller is not Bluetooth, so I can't use the app. I have to use the remote. This is an older controller, so the newer controllers that they have out are Bluetooth. So even their base model entry level are going to be Bluetooth. And you can see there's all the wiring all finished up where the controller mounts. So pretty cool, kind of neat. We are partial to the green lights. We kind of like the way the green looks. All right, there you go. We're gonna wrap this one up. You know, if you're thinking about putting some lights underneath your fifth wheel, underneath your trailer, RV, I say go for it. Super easy to do, not very hard at all, and kind of gives a nice little effect. So that's it for now. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you guys down the road.